Hi everybody and welcome to Red Devils United and the debate. Don't you just hate it when you've been talking for 3 minutes and you realise you don't have any audio set up? We're just struggling to get Niall in on our meeting for the debate. Just bear with me for one moment and hopefully we shall get that up very, very soon. Just 1 second and we will try and get the invite to Niall so that he can see it. But guys, we are looking at a huge, massive game today for both teams. It's really is just unbelievable. And I don't know about you, but I have to say I'm getting nervous now. Honestly, this could go either way. Now, just one moment and hopefully we will see Niall being able to join us in just a second. So we have our chat window and there's plenty of people joining live from Newbridge FC, which is fantastic. I'm going to go through the comments in a moment, but keep your comments coming in because we will go through them. And of course you can ask myself and Niall questions about today's game, about Ole, about Klopp, about United, about Liverpool. And we will answer those as best we can. We are just waiting now for Niall to join in, and hopefully he can get into this call in just a moment. Bear with me now. So yes, I was going to read out a few of the chat while we wait. This is a huge game. The debate itself is going to be between me and Niall. It's going to be about Man United and Liverpool, Ole and Klopp. Combined 11, we will see what we do. But let's take a look at the chat. Jason Kyo, let's go. Jason Kyo, Yorkie boy. Jason Kyo, you should know that Yorkie didn't join at 2 o'clock so we could get everything ready in time. And now we have difficulty because apparently Messenger, which I've sent him a Zoom link on, does not work on his computer. Colin Malone, vamos. Deco says, I can't hear anything. Yes, Deco, unfortunately, I do apologise. I didn't have an audio setting on the new debates setup. But hopefully that is all sorted now. Just bear with me. And Niall is just sending me a message here. 1 second. I'm not sure Niall knows how to use copy and paste. Apparently that is also very difficult for the guy. So this does not bode well for Liverpool fans. 1 second now. So we're still just waiting here, but let's get back to some of the comments that we've seen. Let the games begin. Richie the way, not Teddy. Paul Hughes, this is going to be better than the match. Well, Paul, it's not got off to a good start because we still struggle to get Yorkie into the meeting. I'm just going to bring up my own video feed so that people can see and chat away. Hey, everybody, and thank you so much for joining on what is an epic day for Liverpool and an epic day for Man United. This is going to be big. Now, just bear with me. Just one moment. Going to just go back quickly into the chat because Niall's still struggling to find the keys on his keyboard. Fall Fox has Yorkie legged it. I think Yorkie is, I think, yes. I have to say, Foxy, it looks like Yorkie is making excuses. Jason Kyo, Yorkie in the full kit. Nice. Ian H. Ian, thanks for joining. Really, really appreciate it. Nobody better to wind JT up than Yorkie boy. Rob Fox, can't see you either. Yeah, well, that's fine, Rob. I had the screen off while I was, texting and trying to type at the same time I was talking with Yorkie to try and get him in on this meeting. Boy, we want Yorkie. Bear with me now. Boy, we want Yorkie. We want Yorkie. It's all gone tits up. Thanks, Rob. Alex McGuire, take a drink when Yorkie says you haven't a clue, lad. Be hammered before 3 o'clock. Well, I'll tell you what. I am ready for that. So, you haven't a clue, lad. And by the by, you haven't a clue, lad, is not a valid argument for any statement. If I say Paul Pogba is better than Henderson, answering with you haven't a clue, lad, doesn't refute the claim. It doesn't help anything. So hopefully when there is something he doesn't agree with, he actually uses context, statistics, measurable information to actually debate that argument. Ian H, Alex, the best drinking game ever. Everybody, lads, do it. Get your beers out. And anytime Yorkie says, you don't have a clue, lad, you can have a drink. Stop calling it Niall. Mind games already, Niall. Alright, so it's Yorkie. Ollie Wilson. Hey, Ollie, thanks for joining. Appreciate it, little buddy. Connor Nolan. Niall York is going to be JT's bitch after this game. Rob Fox, Yorkie, you spoon. That's probably to do with Yorkie cannot get on at the moment. Tractor, the guest for when United play Chelsea. Absolutely. Love to have Tractor on. Big follower of the page. One of the guys who tries to get in every live show we have, so appreciate that, Tractor, and absolutely have you on for when we play Chelsea in the next match. And if anybody out there knows a Man City fan, I don't, we can bring one on for a City game, but you really have to, struggle and look high and wide to try find a City fan out there. Rob Fox, you called Yorkie legging it last week. You're right, Rob, you're right. Now bear with me, I'm going to just check and see. Yorkie still has not joined live. I have the link on his Facebook page. I've sent it to him in Messenger. I've sent it to him in a Facebook post. I've done anything and everything that I can currently to get him on. Bear with me, because he still hasn't been able to join. One moment. He needs a meeting ID now, so he's unable to use the link. So bear with me, guys. We might be able to get Yorkie in a few seconds. If I can just get a meeting ID of this, bear with me. Here we go, Yorkie. Let me know if this is what you need. And we'll wait and see if he's able to join any minute now. And if not, Yorkie, send me your email and I'll send it to you. I'll send the invite to you in email. I'll send it to you in Gmail. I'll send it to you in Facebook. I'll send it to you in Messenger. I'll do everything I can to get you onto the show. But this is what happens when you tell someone, get ready by 2 o'clock, because we'll have to make sure everything is in place for the start of this, and then they don't. Instead, they go to the shop or do other kind of madness. So for anybody, this guy here, that's Yorkie right now. You know what? Actually, forget that. You know what? Forget that. We're going to say goodbye to him. I'm going to bring on the real Yorkie. This is the more manly Yorkie. This is a guy that can actually debate. So this is Yorkie, everybody. Thank him for joining the show. Yorkie, what do you know about football? Yorkie, are Liverpool going to win this game? How confident are you, Yorkie, in regards to Liverpool this season? And there you have it, boys. Yorkie's not saying much. I think he's running scared. I think he has run scared. Bear with me, and we'll see if we can't get him to talk any minute now. We just check on the chat and see what is going on. Ollie Wilson, I'll join you. Jamie O'Connor, John, you have me in tears here. Yorkie sounds smarter than ever. Absolutely, Yorkie. He's on fire. He's absolutely on fire. He's putting in a good show at the moment. And if he can't join us live, then we will have an even better, more manly Yorkie. And there it is. There it is. The only thing that this Yorkie and our Yorkie have in common is that they're both not for girls. Let's just see if we can get him on now. I'm just going to go away for a quick second, but I will stay here chatting. And we will bring up the chat, but I'm going to do what I can now to try and get Yorkie in and joining us. Bear with me. One second now. Bear with me. And Yorkie's no joy. Okay, what's your email? Okay, bear with me here. I will try and get the meeting ID for Yorkie because nothing else seems to be working for him. So bear with me. Okay, Yorkie, here we go. This is a last chance, and I'll see if this works for you. Okay, this is what I believe the meeting ID is for you there, because you can't use the link or the password or anything else that's been sent. Let me know if that will work for you there now. Fingers crossed. Here it is. And boys, just for yourselves, I'm going to just bring in, if I can, our chat window so everybody can see what is going on in our chat itself. Jason Keogh, give him the ID. I've given him the ID. I've given him the link to log in. I've given him the password. I'm doing what I can here. Just bear with me now. Yorkie's on a Commodore 64. Hey, I don't select Commodore 64s. Commodore 64s were great. John, you're too biased for this debate, shite. Ollie Wilson, when it comes to debates, you have to be biased. You have a point of view that you're debating with somebody who has the opposite point of view. So both people are biased. It's just whether or not one of the individuals can articulate their point well enough or convince the other person of what they're trying to say. But you can't have a debate if you both agree on the exact same thing, because then it's not a debate. Yorkie's playing Fortnite. Connor Nolan jumping in. Brilliant. Now, bear with me and we'll just see if Niall is getting in on this meeting. He's still saying he cannot see it. 1 second now. Okay. And now he's asked me to send a password again. But the problem is, Niall, if you just go back through your messages, you'll see the password in like 2 messages ago. There is the ID and the password. Now, we've been in this for approximately 15 minutes, lads, and I want to thank every single person for commenting. I want to thank every single person for joining. We wanted to get this started at half. It's just going on a little bit longer, and unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Now, what I will say is that if we get this debate, if we get Niall in at 3 o'clock, that's okay. Because once he's here and with us at 3 o'clock, we'll run the show till 4 o'clock. Okay, we'll get an hour in with Niall, we'll get a debate in, and luckily we can all just sit in the chat window here and have a nice laugh together and a bit of fun at Niall's expense. For anybody not watching, Spurs are currently 2-1 up. Oh, boys, we may have something here. Bear with me for a moment. Okay? I'm just going to... Now, Niall has joined, but he has no sound. Okay? There is no sound there at the moment, so we're just going to wait. And if Niall can sort out a microphone, we will just see in 1 second. Bear with me now. Okay, 1 second now. And we'll be with you guys very soon. Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Hey, now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm just going to bring you in 1 second. Bear with me. I just want to make sure that the video shows you. Okay, now I can see you there. Perfect. But let me just make you bigger for anybody watching. 1 second. Hold on. Oh, bear with me now, because things are just going a bit weird. Bear with me. Zoom. There we go. Now make it bigger. Oh, here we go. And Niall, you ready? Everybody watching can see our friend Niall. He is here in our window. Just bear with me for 2 seconds and we will get this party started. Okay, Niall, you can talk. People can hear you.
How are we, people?
He's on his iPhone because it wasn't working. I'm going to bring up the chat window as well, Niall. You might not be able to see it, but I'll read out the chats, okay? So anybody that addresses anything to you will be in the chat window. So we can see you here. Just bear with me for 1 second. So, Niall, what do you think of today's game?
50-50. Very 50-50.
50-50.
I have €200 on the pool myself now, to be honest. With a 390 return. I would be very happy if it comes true. I think Ole is very nervous. Going to Anfield, haven't lost in 3 years. So he's up against it straight away before the game starts.
So you think Ole is the one that's up against it?
Yeah, I don't think... I wouldn't like Liverpool to lose that record to Manchester United now of all teams, to be honest.
Okay, so thanks for joining. Really, really appreciate it for jumping on the show. I think everybody's been waiting on it. Just so you're aware, we have about 30 people watching live. Now, we'll do this a lot smoother next time. Because in fairness, I've never had 30 people watching live, so I'm pretty sure they're either all here to see you or they're all here to see the real Yorkie, and I don't know which it is. So we'll wait and see. What I would say is thanks again so much for coming onto the show. We'll debate the match. We'll have a laugh. We've got a pre-game show as well straight after this. You can stay on for that. And if you can join us for the post-match show after the game,
I'll be here all the way, don't worry.
Excellent, because regardless of who wins or loses, we can all have a bit of fun about it at the end, as devastated as either one of us will be, that's for sure.
We may not after this, but anyway.
So look, again, thanks for joining. We're going to go straight into debate. Everybody's been watching for 20 minutes. It's not a debate, okay? We don't have a moderator. We don't have someone to ask both of us questions and answer them. So what I want to do is just discuss a few different topics, right? So I want to discuss Liverpool and United, okay, Ole and Klopp, and then the combined 11s that we have for today's show. And then we can see where the conversation takes us. Is that good with you?
Yeah, that's all right. That's all good with me.
All right. Cheers, Yorkie boy.
May I get a beer then?
Okay, Yorkie going off to get up here. You should probably start using that exercise bike in the background. To be fair, we'll bring back our favourite Yorkie until he returns. Let's just wait for a second until Yorkie boy gets back. Um,
No problem at all.
Now, what I do want to say, Yorkie, is your window for the call. Okay, it does block our chat window. Okay, and there's nothing I can do about that because I didn't have time to set it up. So what I will say is, when we want to look at the chat, I will bring you just. I'll turn your screen off and bring up the chat window, and we can see what people are saying in the chat. Okay. And I can read it out to you, but I have to say you've got a lot of fans in the chat window, buddy. A few Liverpool fans there.
Hear that?
So,
good.
tell me, right? I'll give you an honest opinion on Klopp, and before I do, you give me what's your honest opinion on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he was hired and now. And the reason I ask is because I've had to listen to a lot of Liverpool fans, talk about PE teacher, or more importantly, when I was saying, "Oh no, give him a contract, make him full time." Liverpool fans would often say, "Give him a 20-year contract," being ironic, because they didn't think he was any good. So let us know what's your current honest opinion
on Ole.
On Ole.
To be honest, he's not a bad manager. It's just he's managing a club like Manchester United, the biggest club in the world and all that kind of stuff. He got Cardiff City relegated. He's only managed who's the other team, Molde. See you smiling at that one, John. So I just think to go from that to managing Manchester United is a bit of a jump, considering what Ferguson left behind, all the things he won with United. So I just think they're two completely different managers. But look, he's only in the job. He's new with 2 years now, is it 2 years? 2 years.
2 years. One and a half full seasons, but yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, he's second season, 2.5 years. Yeah, so can't take it away from this year. They're top of the league, playing great football. But I don't know. I just think within the next few years, he needs to turn the money United have spent. I think he needs to turn that into a trophy or two.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But let me go back on a couple of points. All right. So, first of all, you mentioned his lack of experience, all right? Yeah. He had actually managed the United reserve team for a few years, and he won the reserve league with them. Then he went on to manage Mold. Now, I know Mold is just Mold, and the Norwegian league is just the Norwegian league. It's like managing the Irish soccer league or, something out there. It's a low-quality league. But what you can say for him is that Mold had never won a title in the entire history of the club. And he won two with them, So taking a team that never won, it doesn't even matter if it's you go to a team in the Kildare League. Taking any team that's never won a title in their history and then winning two, that's okay. What I would say though with the lack of experience is Pep Guardiola and Zinedine Zidane. What experience did they have when they were appointed Barcelona and Real Madrid manager?
That's also true. That's a good statement. But
all Pep had done was manage his reserve team, and all Zidane had done was manage his reserve team. But what they had in common with Ole, other than managing the reserve team, is that they were staples of the club, legends of the club. That they knew the club inside out and how those clubs played. So Ole had actually, if not the same, more experience than Pep and Zidane. Now I'm not saying he's as good as Pep and Zidane, and I'm not saying he's going to go on and win 3 Champions Leagues in a row or the million different titles Pep has won. But when they were given their job, I'd say Ole is actually more experienced than those two.
The only thing I will say, it was easier for Pep when Pep joined. He came into an awful lot of money. You know what I mean? Well,
Pep has always had a lot of. Well, Pep has always had a ready-made team. I mean, one thing you can say about Klopp when he went to Liverpool, and this is where I'm going to draw similarities between Klopp and Ole. They both went into nightmares. Klopp's squad was arguably player for player way worse than Ole's squad when he took over, and that's why Klopp has spent Klopp spent 400 million buying 26 players. He had to get rid of so many bad players, and Ole in only 2 years, it's not even 2.5, in 2 years he's got rid of 10, 12 players, and he's brought in like I think now 6 or 7 players. So when Pep takes the job in Barca, he's a ready-made team. Ronaldinho, Messi breaking through. And then when he goes to Munich, he's a ready-made team. When he goes to Man City, he's somewhat of a ready-made team. So it's very hard to judge Pep in the same way we judge Ole and Klopp because Klopp's done it with Dortmund. Ole is currently doing it with United after he had to get rid of like half the team. What I would say as well, just to go back on another statement you made about Ole, he got Cardiff relegated. I mean, you could have given that job to Pep or Fergie and he probably got Cardiff relegated. Let's not forget, everybody was crying for United to take Poch, who's never won a trophy in his life. He got Espanyol into relegation before he was fired, and Klopp got Mainz relegated in the German league. So I don't think you can hold it against Ole because people never mention those things with Klopp and Poch.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, seeing as United are like the biggest club in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sorry, I didn't hear that. Did you just say it again? What was that?
Like, United are the biggest club in the world. Like, the first time, don't worry.
They are. No, and they are. But luckily, unlike David Moyes, who took over a league-winning team, even Van Gaal with millions of trophies behind him, and Jose Mourinho is one of the most successful managers in club football, winning Champions Leagues with teams like Porto and Inter Milan. I mean, it's unbelievable that United with those managers, whilst they won a couple of trophies, an FA Cup, a League Cup, a Europa Cup over the last 6 years, they've never built a team or a squad that A, challenged, and B, even looked slightly cohesive. And the one thing I'll say to Ole is he's lost a lot of semi-finals like Klopp lost a lot of finals with Liverpool. I mean, let's not forget, it took Klopp 4 years to win a trophy.
He's also won 3 though, mate.
Yeah, but it took him 4 years to win a trophy, and it took him 5 to win the league. Now, Ole's only there 2, but he looks like he's building a squad that's A, the youngest team in the league, and B, capable of competing. I mean, we could fall off, United fans don't have any delusions that we may win the league this year. But just the fact that we're competing after only the 2nd year in his charge, I think speaks volumes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. Could you close the door, please? Cheers, thanks a million. Yeah, I got there in bed. Sorry, just didn't get the hint.
Yeah, no, go on though. And then Klopp, right? So what I'll say about Klopp is, like, I'm not going to compare Ole and Klopp as far as the two of them as managers, okay? I draw comparisons in that they both took over unbelievably huge clubs with huge histories, and while Liverpool hadn't really won anything in 15 years when Klopp took over, they're still the second successful club in England when he took over, and now I think they're 1 or 2 trophies ahead of United in being the most successful. Okay,
they're now the most successful team in England. Yeah.
So what I would say is
most.
So what I would say is Klopp is I'm not going to compare, what they've done. All I can compare is that they took over the 2 big clubs. They took them both over when they were playing really, really poorly, and they've both had to literally change their cultures, the atmosphere, the confidence in the players, and literally overhaul the squads, right? So they both had to do that. All I can compare with Ole and Klopp is how they've both done in their first years at the club and their second years at the club, and now their third years at the club, right? And Ole finished 6th in his first year, and Klopp finished 8th.
So say after 4 years, when Ole's in charge, say in 2 years' time, when Ole's at United, Ole will be at United in 4 years and 2 years' time, yeah?
Well, fingers crossed, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying here is, like, do you think Ole will have done the same job as Klopp done within his time at Liverpool? So, like, will he be able to...
No, it's hard to say, because Klopp won his first trophy, right? Champions League, big trophy. He won his first trophy after 4 years, and he won the league after his 5th, right? Now, he hasn't been able to defend that league yet, and this year is going to be very, very close. Like, last year, he was, like, miles ahead of everybody, even City.
It's over by this stage, yeah.
Yeah. Now, this year, United are there, Spurs are there,
I got this
City are there.
January last year.
Yeah.
I got this in January last year.
January, there you go. Like, that's the confidence he's had. But...
Exactly.
He won the title for the first time after 5 years. So Ole's been there in his first year, right? He finished 6th. Klopp finished 8th. In Ole's second year, he finished 3rd on the last day of the season. Klopp finished 4th on the last day of the season. Now, in Klopp's 3rd year, he also finished 4th, winning nothing. So Ole could finish 4th this year, or 3rd, winning nothing, and he would still have done better than Klopp did in all 3 years. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to go on and finish Champions League winners next year and finish league winners the year after. But we can only debate that when next year and the year after actually happen. Klopp, as great as he's been, he won the Champions League in the fourth year, and he won the league in the third year, but the FA Cup he didn't win, the League Cup he didn't win. He lost the Premiership when he won the Champions League, and he lost the Champions League when he won the Premiership.
He shouldn't have lost it, though. To be fair, 99 points, it's unheard of.
Well, City got over 100, but yeah, it is unbelievable. There's also one thing I'd like to say about Klopp's league-winning season, and I want to know if you agree with this, but when Klopp won the league, right, the six nearest teams to him were City, right, United, Chelsea, Spurs, Leicester, and Arsenal, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Of those 6 teams, 5 of them had managers that were brand new, all in their first season. Arteta was in his first season. Rodgers was in his first season. Jose was in his first season. Ole was in his first full season. And that left City. Only City of those 6 teams didn't have managers in all their 4 seasons. Do you not think that could contribute to the massive gap we saw?
Yeah, in a way, but it's getting back to what these managers what they're playing with. They have the players there. Do you know what I'm saying?
City did, and they lost company. Now you've lost Van Dijk. You can see how big it is when you lose your captain, your best central half. It's difficult.
Best in the world, yeah. But sure, we're only but when you think about it, Liverpool have lost Van Dijk. Who else are without Jota, and they're still they're second place, 3 points.
What they've done with the defensive injuries, I think is really impressive, because as soon as Van Dijk got injured, I thought they would start slipping 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, okay, and then when Gomez got injured, I was like, these aren't even getting top 6. Now currently you're third with a game in hand that you're about to play, but I think City are both of our closest rivals, because if we draw or if one of us lose, City will overtake both or one, right? So you could find yourself in 4th after this game.
It's not even about Liverpool United today. It's about City, Leicester there as well. City have a game in hand, 2 games in hand, I think, after today.
The amount of competition. I said this, that I looked at the game in hands Leicester had. I looked at the 2 games in hand City had. And what I saw was, if Liverpool lost today, and the other teams won their game in hand, Liverpool could actually be in 7th before they play again.
That's what I mean.
That's
they can go
how
right
close
down.
fourth and 7th is. Unbelievable.
The competition is there, I know there is.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
There's a few United fans that I'd be very good friends with. I won't mention any names or anything like that. But they are getting a small bit carried away in January, that kind of way. Now, I know I got carried away in January last year, but...
Oh, well, you were 20 points clear. See, that's the thing. Man United fans are getting carried away.
Not going to mention his name.
No.
Really good friend of mine, but he is getting a bit carried away.
Yeah, Alex Maguire, stop getting carried away. Right.
Yeah, Alex Maguire, stop getting carried. Exactly.
What I would say, though, is we're not getting carried away in the same sense. You boys got carried away, and rightfully so. You're about to win your first title in 30 years. You were 10 points clear, 15 points clear, 20 points clear. But it's a different story. We're gloating at the fact we're actually competing. Nobody thought United would be competing in Ole's second full season. What?
Is it 7 years? 7 years since you've been top?
No, we were top in 17, but we were never top with 17 games played, because it's very easy to go top in the 3rd game, the 4th game. I mean, Everton were top this season for a while. But after half a season, we haven't been top since Fergie's league winning season in 13. So it's huge. We might not stay there, but our gloating.
Do you think that's good enough for a club the size of United?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, no. Nobody. Moyes was terrible. Got fired. Van Gaal didn't do it. Got fired. Jose came close. He finished 2nd. He won 2 trophies, but he created this massively toxic atmosphere, massive negativity, just really, really poor. And again, got fired. Now he's turned that all around, and now we're competing. But no, United's league form for the last 7 years is not even being close to good enough.
but it's not even your league form. It's also your. Like I know you've won. What you've won? Have you won the Europa League the last season?
Yeah, we've won 3 trophies. We've won the League Cup, the FA Cup, the Europa League in the last since Fergie left. So 3 competitions, 7 years, roughly a trophy every 2 years. Not great by our standards. Way better than Arsenal. Way better than Spurs. Way better than Leicester. Way better than close to Chelsea. But City and Liverpool, they're winning the big boy trophies. The league, the Champions League. You know that's where you want to be.
Do you think that's good enough? Like for your net spend, I'd say is up around. I'd say it has to be around 500 million.
Right. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to answer your question.
Hang on, stop. Liverpool's net spend. What do you think it is the last 7 years?
I'm not even talking to you because net spend's a myth. Net spend is irrelevant, right?
It's definitely definitely relevant.
We'll discuss net spend. What I will say is, United have thrown bad money after bad money, right? Like Jose Mourinho, one of the things that really and I support every manager that manages United. I will back them until they do something that stops me. And the one thing Jose did in the summer he got fired, creating a bad toxic atmosphere, was he was crying in the media about the board not backing him for a centre half. Now, did we need a centre half? Yes. But he bought Lindelof and he bought Bailly constantly injured. He bought them and then wanted to buy more. You're on mute. He bought them and then he wanted to buy more. And that's not how it should work.
Yeah.
So, I can hear you now. So he we spent a lot of bad money. I mean, you look at the players he brought in. Sanchez.
Liverpool have done it as well.
He bought 26 players. I mean, obviously some of them work, some of them don't. But United, and it's not. Some of them are actually good players, but they're probably too young or the club is too big for them. Like you look at Memphis Depay. He's doing really well in France now at the moment. And there's talk about buying him back. But when he came to us, flopped. Fellaini.
I will say it. Popular, like you done the same thing to Di Maria when you came. You gave him one season.
He didn't even want to come.
I understand that, but these are fucking top notch players, and I just don't feel they were given the chance at United. I can't really say the same. For I'm trying to think of a player that happened to Liverpool.
Some of them were given a chance, but you never know what's going on behind the scenes, right? And Di Maria, I don't know. And Sanchez as well. I think he had a massively bad attitude that rubbed off on the dressing room. Lukaku was gaining weight more than I am. And now he's in Italy. He's skinny. He's flying. He's obviously the Italian league is easier, but he's hit goals quicker than Ronaldo managed when he was in Italy. The number 9 Ronaldo. So, but his attitude at United was completely different. He had to go. You look at Fellaini's just Fellaini. He's not a United player, even though he did well now and again. Smalling, Jones, Rocco, Darmian was not good enough. Ashley Young was getting old. I mean. There were so many players. Some Memphis.
Yeah, there is a few players that I'll agree with you on, but I just feel given the players like Depay, Di Maria a year, I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah, and do you know why I think that is? Yeah, but why I think that is when they were bought, the managers didn't want to build a team to compete for the league. They just wanted a team to compete for the league. So Ole's look, we're not going to win.
Need to build a team.
That's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
When Ole buys a player this year, it's not look, we're going to win the league this year or we're going to win the league next year. Maybe in 3 years we'll win the league or compete. But he's building towards something, whereas Jose wanted to win it there and then. So if Depay had a bad game or 2 bad games in a row, he was just chopped, and that's probably not the right way to go either.
It's not right at all, really. I don't know. I find it very hard to believe. As I was saying to you already, I can't. In the last few years, I can't think of a player who's come to Liverpool and has lasted a season. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, you've plenty of players that aren't playing, though. Keita's not getting many games in the first team.
Yeah, to be fair, he's also struggles with injury. He's been in and out with injury.
True.
Klopp sticks by, he's saying he's not going and signing a centre half this year because he's given, Reece Williams, Nat Phillips, them type of lads, they're getting a chance.
Yeah, but you think he's maybe got his hands tied a bit as well? Say what you want about net spend, right? And this is where I want to talk about net spend. Net spend's a myth. And I'll discuss how, right? But Klopp has still spent $500 million, right? Now, here's and you can answer this, but try and listen to this particular point, net spend. We'll keep the numbers nice and simple. Liverpool make 100 million, right? 10 million by selling school bags and 90 million by selling Suarez. Okay.
Yeah.
Now United make 10 million selling Jones and 90 million selling school bags. Okay. Now they both got 100 million. So United go out and they buy a player for 100 million. They go buy Pogba. And now Liverpool go out and buy Van Dijk for 100 million. Liverpool's net spend in that scenario is 10 million. And United's net spend is 90 million. But they've both spent 100 million that the clubs have earned. Where that money comes from and how you've earned it is irrelevant once the club earns it themselves. Not like City, where they're getting money thrown into them from really bad places. But if the club goes out and earns money, then from United's point of view, it's probably better to spend money selling school bags than having to sell players in order to buy new players.
Not like
having
really,
a low net spend basically means you have to sell players to buy players.
Like school bags and basically what you're saying is if your players aren't playing well, you're going to keep them and sell school bags.
No, we just don't sell them for very much.
How do you make space for players that are coming in?
Oh no, you sell them, but they don't go for much. Yeah, you sell them, but they don't go for much. Like we'll sell Jones eventually. Probably get 10 million, 15 million. It's not a lot. Sell Lingard. Probably get 10, 15 million. It's not a lot. The thing is, we don't sell our best players unless like Ronaldo they agree to go. We get
15 million for Lingard now.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Oh, you'd be doing well. But the point is, if you're a selling club and you sell your best players, you're going to get great money. That's fine. You sell what's his name? Coutinho got a lot of money. Suarez got a lot of money. Torres got a lot of money. That's all great.
That thing, look what Liverpool have done with that money. Liverpool sold
they've done great
Coutinho,
things.
bought in Alisson, bought in Van Dijk out of that.
Yeah, Mane was cheap enough as well. And the thing is, when you buy cheap,
the team Liverpool have now. Look at say United's team today. The starting 11, compare that with Liverpool's starting 11, the money spent on the teams.
So as I think, Liverpool's transfer policy is unbelievable, and the players they buy like Salah and Mane worth 100. Well, maybe not so now because they're 30, turning 31. But they were 100 million or so. They're worth that. They were bought for pittance in comparison to what they've done, right? So the transfer policy Liverpool have is amazing. I'm not going to debate that. What I am debating though is the sense that if your net spend is low, that's a good thing. If when you're a club, when you get revenue in, you get it from a number of different streams. So when you spend 500 million of the club's money, it's 500 million regardless of whether it came from a player or a pencil case. So you can't say, well, Klopp's only spent 20 million net. He spent 500 million.
That's the difference. You selling school bags is United going and spending money on them to sell them, like what you're comparing school bags. You know what I'm saying?
No. You're talking about manufacturing. We just throw our name on stuff. We're talking about, Chevrolet. We make marketing deals and it brings money in from numerous sources around the world, around the globe. What I'm saying is that when the club makes money, right, you bring in €1 billion and then you bring in €1 billion, regardless of whether it was from selling players or selling merchandise. You've got €1 billion. So when you spend 500 million on player, and when we spend on players, and we spend 500 million on players, it's still 500 million spent, regardless of net spend, player v player. You're still spending 500 million of the club's money.
Yeah, I understand that, but to get in a way see the way Liverpool sold Coutinho, he's literally doing nothing at Barcelona now. So the way for the players they bought out of that money.
Oh, no, I agree. Liverpool's transfer policies are amazing. Getting rid of Coutinho makes space. He wasn't... I had this debate with many people when Pogba first joined and I was comparing with Coutinho and I was like, Coutinho scored... Liverpool fans were all telling me Coutinho was the best midfielder in the world. He scored something like 3 goals in his first season. And he scored 4 goals in his second season. And
it wasn't just really about his goals.
No, he gets assists in his overall play. And I know stats don't do it because Scholes gets very little goals, and even Zinedine Zidane, he only scored over 10 goals twice in his whole career. So I know they don't cover everything. But selling Coutinho and bringing the players you bought, it's unbelievable. I'm not debating your transfer policies. We need your transfer policies. What I'm debating is the myth that Klopp hasn't spent money.
That's what I'm going to ask you now. Do you think United have done anything, say that piece of business Liverpool done? Do you think United have done anything similar to that? By selling a bigger player and bringing in 2 or 3 players, do you know what I mean?
No, because we don't tend to sell good players.
Well, you
Which
sold Di Maria and you sold the pie.
no, we got rid of Di Maria because he wasn't doing that at United. I think we made 30 million or something. Like we obviously we bought him for 40, so we didn't make money, but we would have used that 30 million to do something else. But no, we generally tend not to sell good players. We generally tend to sell like, look, this player's not working. We didn't get loads for Lukaku because he wasn't like when a team comes along and they're like, well, we want to buy Lukaku, they know United want to sell him, so you're not going to get much. Whereas Coutinho, Liverpool could have kept him easily. He was a great midfielder. So they don't have to sell him. So the other team has to fork out money. And then you do great business by who you buy with that money. United, we don't get really big money because generally when we let players go, it's because they're Pereiras, they're Lingards, they're Jones, they're players that never stepped up. If we were to sell if we were to sell Bruno in the summer, we'd probably get 100 million for him after spending 40. But we don't want to sell Bruno.
I'd more than 100 million, to be honest.
But we don't want to sell him. So it's very hard to compare.
You don't need it. That's what
I'm saying. But it is very hard to compare. Your transfer strategy is amazing. And I think Ole's got a similar transfer strategy in mind.
Don't get me wrong, Liverpool down the years have made some absolute stupid transfers, like Andy Carroll.
I was going to say Andy Carroll.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say something like that, so I said I'd say it first. Yeah. 35 million on Andy Carroll, it's Liverpool's transfer. It's not all fucking A1. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, it's just under Klopp it is. And that's you have to give credit where it's due.
Every club can jump in, but I'd like to see them sign a centre half now because in the long run,
you need to. And in fairness, I don't think Matip is good enough. So even when Gomez and Van Dijk come back, you've only got 2 centre halves. Man United have 4 at the moment, and that's if you don't include Jones and Rocco and all those people. Like we've got Twinzaby, Bali. I think Bali should start, by the way, over Lindelof. But even though he doesn't, and then Lindelof and Maguire. So there's 4 there. So when Lindelof gets injured, you got Bali. When Bali gets injured, you got Twinzaby. You've got Matip. Before you got Gomez and Van Dijk, and if they get injured, you've got Matip. But you've nobody else then. I think regardless. What?
Matip's the Champions League winner all the same.
I know, but Luke Chadwick won a Premiership, so I mean, I don't care. What I would say though is he's probably not good enough. So if you want to get rid of Matip like you did with the other centre half you had last year, what's the lad's name? Lovren,
yeah.
You either need to develop a really good centre half and buy one, or buy 2, and then you've got cover.
There's no point in Liverpool signing a centre half because, like, when Van Dijk and Gomez do come back to full fitness, you know what I mean? It'll be like not like there's no point in signing one. Maybe not like they don't need to sign one now. But like what you're saying,
I'm saying sign one now because if Gomez and Van Dijk come back, like that RB Leipzig centre half that everybody wants, he could compete with Gomez for a spot beside Van Dijk, and that would be good for Liverpool if they were to do that.
Are you fond of RB Leipzig actually?
You what?
Are you fond of RB Leipzig?
No, but I think they do quite well for what they have to work with. I'm going to just turn your screen off for a moment. I'm going to bring up the chat window, and then you can just maybe answer a few questions that are in the chat window that some people might be asking here. So just bear with me. Oh, there's the much better Yorkie we see now. Right, we have the chat window open. I'm going to just bring it down a bit to where...
I can't see that on my screen.
No, you can't. I'll read it to you. It's to Jason Kyo. Never count on Yorkie.
Fuck you, Jason.
Now, just going to go back to a few of the chat windows. Right. Niall York. Here we go. This is where I left it. We have Ollie Wilson says, John will be sad that United have made loads of progress. I'm not sure it's the case in my opinion. United are where they were last year, and the rest are falling back to them. That's not progress. Well, I'll answer that. Progress is when you're top of the league you're currently in. Okay? If you want to compare leagues to the past leagues that were there, then you're going to run into a lot of trouble. And the reason for that is, if you look at Liverpool, like if you look at the United team in 17, we finished second, okay? That United team earned more points than our 1999 treble-winning United team, who only lost 3 games. Now, are we actually saying and arguing that the 2017 United team is actually better than the 99 treble-winning United team? No. The league is just easier. Now this season, last season, all the managers were in their first year at the club. Leicester, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, United, all the managers in their first year with the club, right? This year, they're in their second year. They've had a few transfer windows. They're building teams. So the league is ultimately going to become more competitive. So to stay in the top one or two of that, rather than being where United were last year, which was 10th, by the way, and I think 26 points behind Liverpool, that is progress.
Yeah,
right? Now, we have here, Paul Hughes says, awful rumour that James is starting to handle the pace of Robertson. John's going to lose it. If James is even on the bench in this game, I am going to fucking lose my mind. I swear to God.
He can't be. He can't play.
No.
He's gonna
if James plays, I will absolutely fucking lose it. That would be disastrous. What would you like James to start?
Me?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Jesus, yeah.
Right,
all day long.
That says everything you want. The actual Liverpool fan wants James to start. So that tells you everything you need to know. He better not start to handle the pace of Robertson. If you want to handle the pace of Robertson, you put Rashford or Greenwood on the right and you pin Robertson back.
Yeah, then the only problem then is if Rashford's running back the whole game, he's not going to attack the way he does.
Well, he won't be running back. Hopefully he exposes the space in behind Robertson. I mean, Robertson can't run forward, and Trent can't run forward the way they normally do when they have Van Dijk and Gomez there. They'll be sitting with Fabinho and Henderson. It makes it very difficult to have confidence to run forward.
They'll still go forward a fair bit though. Like they won't do it as much. Yeah, you're probably right, but they still will bomb forward.
Yeah,
Andy Robertson definitely will anyway.
And the thing is, I would trust a one-on-one situation. I would trust Aaron Wan-Bissaka to take care of Robertson. To be honest.
Well, he'll have his focus on Mane now as well. Like Mane and Robertson on your same side is not a fucking easy task. Right. Like that's why whoever asked that question is saying Rashford has to track.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And James will track more so, but he just gives us nothing going forward. Ian H says, don't confuse Yorkie with big words like context and Pogba.
Who said that?
A guy, Ian H.
Oh, yeah.
Ian Hughes. So Paul Hughes says, Ian, laughy face. Rob Fox says, might be easier to buy a Yorkie bar than put it beside you. Don't even know what that means. Jason Kyo, no, we have laughing faces. Jamie O'Connor has jumped into the chat. Jamie, thanks for joining us, appreciate it. John, you have me in tears here. Oh, it's always good to see. John, Yorkie is your bitch, says Connor Nolan. So we just leave that there.
He hasn't a clue.
He hasn't a clue. Shots. John Tolan lets the football do the talking.
Tell me the Rangers fan.
Yeah. Charlie Brazel says, good lad Yorkie, referring to one of your comments earlier, no doubt. Connor Nolan and Jason Kyo are laughing. Paul Hughes says, Yorkie bar I have on the screen are both not for girls. Rob Fox says, send him some bottle. Yorkie is playing Fortnite. We've read those comments earlier. Just going to go down to the latest comments in the window. Ollie Wilson says, we sold Coutinho. I'm pretty sure Ollie Wilson is my brother Patrick told him, by the way. But Ollie Wilson says, we sold Coutinho and also sold a shitloads of school badges in John's terms, but we spent money we recouped from Coutinho, all profits, no loss. That's nice, Paddy. Yet we still make more money year on year than you, so fair enough. Jason Kyo, 10 million worth of pencil cases. I don't think Jason Kyo understands the concept of a scenario. Paul Hughes.
You should have probably used something different than pencil case.
Yeah, well, merchandise. Just merchandise, marketing deals. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to go...
You could have said anything about pencil cases.
Porrig Morphy, only 29, John. I don't know what that means. Maybe he's talking about only 29 million we bought Bruno for. I'm not sure. Ollie Wilson says, progress is based on what you did last year points-wise, and I don't believe you were that much better on points than this year. Well, Ollie Wilson, that's completely untrue. Unless this year you're playing the exact... I don't know, but it's irrelevant because He's saying unless you've got more points, you're not progressing. But that's completely stupid because unless you're playing the exact same teams as last year, with the exact same managers in the exact same situation, with the exact same players and the exact same injuries and the exact same scenario, then it doesn't matter. You have to play the year you're in.
You can't really say that either, though, John. Like, to be fair, like, you can't just be like, oh, keep the same team, the same manager, just so we can make progress.
No, what I'm saying
like,
is no. You're misinterpreting. What I'm saying is if we finished second last year on 70 points, right, and somebody won the league on 80, if the following year you win the league with 69 points and second place had 68 or something like that, you can't say that that's not progress just because you finished a point worse off than last year. You went from second to first. You beat everybody else instead of finishing second. It doesn't matter what points total you had.
Fair enough.
Jason Kyo, no Salah or Mane, ages, they're not 31. Salah is 30. I'm pretty sure Mane is 30 as well. So maybe Niall can correct me on that.
Say again?
Maybe Niall, you can correct me. Is Salah and Mane not 30 years of age?
I think Mane is 29.
I'll tell you what. We will find out. We will do a quick Google search, Jason Kyo, just for you.
Yeah, no,
Mane is actually 28. He's turning 29 in April. So fair enough. He will be 30 by next season though. Salah is 28. He's also turning 29 in June. So he will also be 30 next year. Sorry. I apologise. You're right, Jay. Mane and Salah have one more year before they turn 30. Whereas United strikers, by the way, are 19, 22 and 24. So plenty of time. Ole Wilson, you call me stupid again, I'll box you. Ole Wilson, I'm not sure that's going to work through a computer screen, but good luck with that. Excellent comments, boys. Appreciate it. Keep it coming. Porrick Murphy says Salah Mane only 29. Well, actually, Porrick, they're only 28, but they are turning 29 this year. I'm going to bring Yorkie's video back into the screen. So, Yorkie, here we go. How are we doing? I'm going to go, Yorkie, straight to the combined 11s. All right? I want to bring in our combined 11 teams to see what people think, if that's okay. So,
by the way, these weren't diluted. These were honest teams. John says about not having Harry Maguire in the team or anything like that.
No, honest teams. Right, we're going to start off with Niall York's. This is Yorkie's combined 11 of the players who are available. Okay, that's very important. This is the combined 11 of the players who are currently available. So you're going with Alisson in goal over De Gea. Talk briefly about that, Niall.
Well, years ago, like, it would have been De Gea straight between the sticks, but I think recently it has to be Alisson. Like, don't get me wrong, Alisson's made his mistakes, but De Gea has also made an awful lot of howlers.
Yeah, no, I agree. De Gea won the league with United.
I just think Alisson over the last while has just been the better shot stopper in general. His distribution's better.
And while De Gea was much better than Alisson in the 2013, 14, 15, 16, right? Yeah, Alisson was better. Alisson was better in 17, 18, 19, right?
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So equally.
That's what I mean. Years ago, it was De Gea going.
But what about this season? I mean, I think people latch on to De Gea's poor, and it wouldn't be poor, but he made some high profile mistakes last year and the year before. But I think people are latching on to that a lot, and they're forgetting actually this season he's done quite well.
He has, but it's just the mistakes De Gea's made against the mistakes Alisson's made. Like, De Gea's made them where it's mattered, where it's cost them points. Alisson could have made them when Liverpool were 2 up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it doesn't really make too much of a difference.
The mistakes are the mistakes, but Alisson is making them in a team where it's not impacting them as much.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But it is still a mistake, nonetheless.
Yeah, it's still a mistake, but it's just the fact that they're not costing points.
Right. So so what you're saying is because Alisson's getting away with it, you're gonna pick Alisson.
But not that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what
It
I'm
sounded
saying.
like what you were saying, but it's all right. It's all right. Let's look at your defence though, because a Man United man makes it into your back four. You've got Trent on right full. You've got Robertson at left full with Fabinho and Maguire at centre half, and Henderson as the defensive midfielder.
Well, I think the two fullbacks is a no-brainer. Like the two boys are rampant when it comes to assists. Like their last year, the year before, even their assist tally were better than midfielders were. Like Pogba, Andy Robertson had more assists, I think, than Paul Pogba last year. Is that correct? I think it is correct.
Yeah, but they're not playing the same position. But go ahead, keep going.
Well, they're midfielders. That's my point. Like
yeah, but your midfielders don't get assists. It's all your fullbacks. But go on, keep going.
That's what I'm saying. It's the fullbacks. Yeah. Right. So then it's who's the other one? So I have Robertson.
You have Robertson, Fabinho, Maguire, and Trent with Henderson as the defensive midfielder.
Fabinho, just for the simple reason he's not a centre half, and since he stepped in, it's like he's been playing there all his life. I think he's been Liverpool's best player this year by far.
Yeah, I mean, considering you lost Van Dijk, the fact that he's there third in the league, you could go top of the league with the win today. It shows just how important he's been. What I would say though, and I'll discuss this when I do my combined 11. Your two fullbacks are very attacking, and I'm sorry to say, Liverpool fans have nothing but bad things to say about Maguire. So when you have Maguire and Fabinho as your two centre halves, are you not exposing them with two such attacking fullbacks?
Well, I think Fabinho holds the fort fairly well.
Right.
Not to the same extent Van Dijk does, obviously, but when he's in there, he breaks up the play like very well. He doesn't rush forward. He's calm on the ball. You know what I mean? He pass out from the back. He doesn't panic. Maguire is in there simply for his aerial threat more than anything. He's very good in the air, offset pieces, corners. Now he does turn like a truck. Bear that in mind, but like Fabinho's quick enough. So my idea would be that Fabinho could cover him behind him.
And now, because of your centre half picks, you've got Henderson as defensive midfield instead of Fabinho, instead of Matic, instead of McTominay, instead of whoever. You're going to go with Henderson.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Henderson. Like his overall game, like he's improved unbelievable amount over the years. Like he's captain of Liverpool now, simply for his performances and his leadership alone.
I agree. His leadership skills are great. I'm not sure I'd be happy with him protecting my defence, but that's my team. You tell me about yours.
Well, I'm going off the last recent seasons. Like he's done a fairly good job of it in my eyes. Like
but has he not been playing alongside Fabinho? And Fabinho is the one who's actually protecting the defence.
He has, but it's both of them. Like I'm not taking that. Like you're taking it away from him a little bit here. Like United fans,
I would because he's shit, but it's okay. Go on.
Have it out for Henderson
because he's rubbish. Okay, but go on.
No, he's not. Definitely not rubbish. So then it's who else?
So look. Let's go right midfield. Right with midfield, you've got Henderson protecting your defence, but you have two Man United players here, and in fairness, I have to commend you on this, right? Because Liverpool have a lot of options. They've Milner, they've Wijnaldum, they've Keita, they've They have a few players, and the thing is, none of them are creative in that they get assists or goals. None of your midfield get goals or assists. They will get a goal. They will get one or two in a season. But Pogba, the year before last, got more goals than any three of your midfielders combined. And as you already pointed out, your assist and creativity, it comes from the fullbacks.
Yeah, that's why he's in the team. That's
so exactly you've got Pogba and Bruno there. And so what are your thoughts behind that?
Bruno, I think, is a no-brainer. He's absolutely on. It hurts me to say it. Like he's that good. He's unbelievable. He's an unbelievable player. Like he's absolutely unbelievable.
I think it's done me wrong. I think he's had some bad games, even recently. But his work rate off the ball, his enthusiasm is.
Yeah, he's literally changed it. Like his whole work rate and everything, like United look at like a lot more together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With him on the pitch, like he brings that energy. You know, that kind of way. Like it's like
energy and confidence.
Not that he didn't have it, but it wasn't to the same extent. Like he looks like he's brought everyone's level up.
Yeah.
And then
I do like you've got Bruno in there. I do like you've got Bruno. I think, like you said yourself, it picks himself, but. a lot of Liverpool fans would have put, and I think wrongly, like Carragher, they would have put the Bayern Munich midfielder that he's bought. I think they would have put him in there. Or Wijnaldum, because a lot of Liverpool fans don't rate Pogba.
But I just don't think Thiago has played enough to put him in.
Nah, he's played two starts in 4 games.
Yeah, like he hasn't played enough this year to actually put him into the team. So that's mainly why I left him out.
Yeah.
Not because obviously he's a quality player, but I just couldn't really put him in because he hasn't shown like obviously when he's played he has, but
yeah, like obviously for Bayern Munich the man's class and he's composed on the ball, like he is class. Now he doesn't get a lot of goals or assists, but like I mentioned, Scholes, Iniesta, Xavi, Zidane, none of those got goals and assists. They controlled the other 86 minutes of a game that wasn't a goal or an assist. And that's probably the most important part of the game. The moments where there's no goals.
Yeah, and then Pogba, my other midfielder, is in because, look, with a flick of a switch, he can turn it on. Like this, I think this season he's been very, very good for United.
He stepped up the last few weeks.
Stepped up, World Cup winner, all the same. Like people, you nearly forget he's a World Cup winner. Like there's time, he's been in games there where he's been strutting around the pitch, walking around.
Yeah,
and you would not think World Cup winner. His attitude was stinking. The last under Mourinho, like he was.
I think there was a lot of toxicity under Mourinho. Like Fred wasn't doing well, Lindelof wasn't doing well, Pogba obviously wasn't doing very well. Nobody really was. And under Ole, another thing I'd say about his management is that Martial, Rashford, Fred, they've all had their best seasons ever last year under Ole. So Pogba's also come good this season so far. So I love that. Good midfield. You picked United players, nice and honest. Your forward line, Mane and Salah.
Yeah, forward line is Mane and Salah. Like, I don't know, I don't think anyone can really argue with that.
Well, I'm gonna. But you go ahead and tell me about the front three.
I know you're definitely going to.
But tell me about the front three, though. The front three.
It's great.
The front three is unbelievably quick that you have there, right? Unbelievably potent. Rashford has 56 goal contributions in the last 2 years, I think. Obviously, Mane and Salah's stats speak for themselves. They're phenomenal.
So exactly. Like Mane and Salah, like Liverpool last season played, if you like, with no goal scoring striker. Like they've no out and out striker. Firmino's a playmaker. So for the two wingers,
say what everybody wants to hear. What's Firmino? What is he?
Not saying that again.
Say it. What is he? He's a false. What is he? What is he?
False nine.
Yeah, he's a false nine. All right. Go on.
False nine. That's the one. Yeah. So I think for last year, like Mane and Salah, for the goals they scored as two wingers, like without having that, with the goals Liverpool scored without having the striker who's scoring as well, I think was a serious amount of goals.
Yeah.
Clock up between the two boys, like they ran right last year, even the year before. Like the two of them are just different gravy altogether. So that's basically, and then Marcus Rashford, he's a goal scorer. I think between the two lads, he could do some serious damage.
Yeah, it is a great team, and the fact that 4 United players get in it. Obviously, you've no Van Dijk, you've no Gomez. I think if you had a Van Dijk and Gomez, we probably would have lost 1 or 2 United players in your team. But
definitely.
Fair enough. I'm going to go through my team, who you can't see it, so I'm going to name it for you, okay?
Yeah.
So the team I would go with is De Gea in goal, because I think this season he's been better than Alisson. I think over his career he's been better than Alisson, but I'd go with De Gea in goal. That could easily be Alisson, in fairness, okay? So we will leave that where it is. But I would go with the centre-half pairing of Maguire and Bailly for 2 reasons. Maguire is a better centre-half than Fabinho. And I think Bailly is actually probably a better centre-half than Maguire if he's fit, right? But Bailly gives you the pace that complements Maguire. Now, what I will say is you look at last season, Man United's defence. We were the 3rd best defence in the league. We only conceded 3 less goals than Liverpool. And that's a Liverpool defence that has Van Dijk and Gomez, not Fabinho. And that was Maguire's 4th season. It was Aaron Wan-Bissaka's 4th season. And we played with an 18-year-old Williams for about a quarter, if not a half of that season, because Shaw was constantly injured. And yet it was the 3rd best defence.
Because he's 18 years of age. Like,
well, he's only a youth academy player. Like he's
a professional footballer. He's playing for United.
But what I'm saying is, the entire defence, it was their first year ever playing together. Like, none of them. They were all in their first seasons except Lindelof. And they had the third best defence. So I think Maguire probably gets too much stick because he has had the bad game here and there. And I go with Bally because I think Bally complements Maguire better than Lindelof and also better than Fabinho.
They look more confident together than Lindelof and Maguire do.
And the speed of Bally allows Lindelof and our fullbacks to push up. And this is why I've actually picked Trent and Robertson as fullbacks. Because Aaron Wan-Bissaka, in my opinion, is the best one-on-one defender and defensive defender in the league at the moment.
I agree, right? Definitely agree with you.
But when you have Bally, Maguire and Fabinho as my defensive midfielder, when you have a centre that's so solid, they're all world-class. Man United are screaming for a central defender midfielder that's as good as Fabinho or Fernandinho or Rodri or Kante. We're crying for that. And if you have Fabinho sitting in front of Maguire and Bally, you can afford to allow Trent and Robertson to have a field day. What?
So you have McTominay there, Scott McTominay.
No, Fabinho is better than Scott McTominay for me. He makes my combined 11.
I know.
Yeah. So Robertson and Trent, you can afford them to go on a runner because you've got a great solid defence there, right? So Trent, Robertson, you've already discussed their attributes. Unbelievable amount of assists between the two of them. Trent's obviously in a bit of a bad run of form at the moment, giving the ball away a lot recently, not getting as many assists as he normally would. But those games against Newcastle and Southampton, very very little threat coming from Trent. He's young though. He's gonna have that. But I'd still pick him and Robertson because that centre I've picked with Bale, Maguire, and Fabinho is so strong. I've also gone with Bruno and Pogba, so I think that speaks for itself. They both creative, they're both combined and work great together. Bruno came into a United team sitting 10th last year, and he was undefeated for the rest of the season. As soon as he came in, never lost a game in the league, and they finished third.
Yeah. You got how many player of the month award as well?
Oh, he's won four Premier League player of the month, which is actually the joint total that Ronaldo did in his 6-year career, and he's only been there a year. It's like the transformation he's made. There's been comparables and comparisons with Cantona, and people say, well, until he wins a trophy, you can't compare it. I think you can, because of the level he's moved us up between last season and now is just unbelievable. And it's not just...
He brings energy.
It's not just performances. It's just how he's changed the atmosphere and the team and everything, you know? Now, my front three is different to yours.
Right, go on. Your front three, go on.
I've got Salah because I think Salah is better than Mane at the moment, right? Salah has about 16 goals and assists this season, right? Mane's only got 8.
In the league.
In the league, but in the league, he's got 16 goals and assists, and Mane's got 8. The reason I picked Salah on the right, I picked Rashford on the left because Rashford is also better than Mane in goals and assists on the left, and while I've been critical of Rashford in his overall performances, he still manages to get goals and assists when it's important. So I picked that. And the reason I picked the two of them instead of Mane and Salah, I picked Rashford and Salah, is because when you play Mane and Salah and you have Rashford up top, I don't think... the reason Mane and Salah are so good is because, like you said, Firmino can drop deep and bring him in. I don't think Rashford can do that. I don't think he could bring them into the game.
He does. Rashford does drop deep, but to the same, he can't do.
I don't think he can play that hole, that number 10, false 9. I just don't think he could bring them into the game the way Firmino does. So I play Firmino or Cavani. Now I've gone with Cavani because I think Cavani is more of a threat in the air than Firmino.
He's more of a goal scorer.
Yeah, and I also think he tracks back and wins the ball back more than Firmino as well. So I've gone Cavani.
Does track back a
lot. He does.
Will see Firmino tracking back. Yeah. That's one thing he does do.
But I've gone for Cavani in the centre because I think, like Firmino, he could bring the other two in more so than Rashford could. And if you're looking at Rashford, Mane and Salah as 2 of the 3, then I think Salah and Rashford take it only just over Salah and Mane.
Yeah, even today you'll see the amount of times Firmino will get the ball in deep in midfield,
win it back off
everywhere.
Somebody
running back. He'll be everywhere bar his position basically. Obviously.
But that's my combined 11, and I gave you 4 players. I gave you Trent, Fabinho, Robertson, and Salah. I've got more United players, and I'd love to see my combined 11 play your combined 11 to see who's got the right balance in their team.
Yeah, the debate.
Yeah. Now, what I will say is this: we have the two combined 11s on the screen. I would love to see what people think within the chat. Let us know, guys. I'm going to bring the chat window back up, Yorkie. Just got to say goodbye to your video, but you're still there.
That's it.
All right, we bring the chat window back up now. One momento. All right. Okay, so we have the chat window up. Going to go back over a few comments that were there. We have Jason Kyo, has to be Genie over Pogba. So Jason Kyo thinks Wijnaldum is a better footballer than Paul Pogba.
It's definitely more of a grafter, anyway.
He's more of a grafter, but you've already got Fabinho, in your case Henderson. You've already got Maguire and Bale.
People is full, like you said, they don't get goals and not many assists. They're just full of grafters. They just work their ball.
But we're building a new team. You know, we're building a new team. We're building a team out of both players, and I think because of the strength we have in our defence, we don't need a bunch of midfield grafters. We can afford to have good footballers, good playmakers. Now, I just want to bring up here more in the chat. We have Ollie Wilson says, if you're a business and two businesses make 3 million profit and another makes 1 million, the year after all three make 1 million, where's the progress? Ollie Wilson, that doesn't make sense, okay? But I'll explain it to you this way. If you're a business that sells handbags and there's a second business that sells shoes, and both of them make 3 million in profit, then they are equally good, regardless of whether they spend that money on anything else. All right? Man United make 500 million, Liverpool make 500 million. United spend 1 million on a player, Liverpool spend 1 million on a player. It doesn't matter where the money comes from, it's still 1 million spent. That's the point. Now, Rob Abbott, just because you're 30 doesn't mean you're finished. Well, no, not. But when you're a fast-paced attacking striker and you rely heavily on that pace, you are going to be hindered. Porrick Murphy says, you've spent 250 million in 3 transfer windows and sold fuck all, turning into Manchester City. Yes, but we don't need to sell players, Porrick. We've spent 250 million in 3 windows. Liverpool has spent 500 million in Klopp's time. They've bought 26 players. We've only bought 8.
They've something to show for it, though. Liverpool have something to show for the money they spend.
Oh, well, that's irrelevant. The point we're making is that United are buying without selling, but you're saying we've sold fuck all, yet we've got rid of, Jones is out the door soon, we've got rid of Smalling, we got rid of Rocco, we got rid of Darmian, we got rid of Lukaku, we got rid of Sanchez, we got rid of Fellaini, we got rid of Herrera, we've got rid of Ashley Young, we've got rid of loads of players. We've got Porrick Murphy. Man United are playing more academy players in league games than any team in the whole league. So, I don't even know what to tell you. Jamie O'Connor says, Lindelof starts, team news out. I'll have to look at the team news, but I think Lindelof starting is not a good thing.
Anderson centre half, Fabinho.
Yeah, if Lindelof is starting, it means he's starting over Bali, and I think that's a mistake. Bali's pace could be very, very important.
Playing Henderson centre half, though.
Yeah. Ollie Wilson, Alisson is the better keeper. Well, that's very debatable. Ollie Wilson or Paddy. Me and Niall have debated it. I think De Gea was better for the first 4 years. Then Alisson was better for maybe 2 or 3 years. And I think now this season they're fairly fucking level. So we wait and see. Steve Norman, Ginny has to make it in the middle. Ginny Wijnaldum can barely make your own team's middle. And that's when Matic and Fred and Pogba and Bruno aren't available. I mean, Wijnaldum doesn't even make your own midfield every single game. So it's hard to justify him making a combined middle. But
most games he would, John.
Maybe, but me and you don't pick him. And there's a reason for that. There are better players available. Gary Maguire says, "Hi John, we have got news of today's lineups. I would be really interested in hearing Niall's opinion on Hendo starting centre back today. Cheers." Niall, what do you think on Hendo starting centre back?
I don't know. Like he's out of position. Like I just don't think he can do what Fabinho can do out of position. Like you saw it against Southampton.
I agree. I think Fabinho is a better central defensive midfielder, and because of that, he reads the game better, which makes him a better person to drop centre half.
Like Henderson can read the game, but he reads it better from a different position. You know what I mean? I seen him against Southampton. He looked a little bit shaky, but obviously because he doesn't play there. But like they don't really have any other options. Like for the pace United have up front, Rashford, Reece Williams isn't the quickest. Neither is Nat Phillips. So Henderson, now bear in mind, isn't quick by any means really either. But that's what they have.
I agree.
That's what they have to go with.
I'm trying to find the starting lineups.
I got them here fit.
Well, I have some team news coming in. Shaqiri starts, by the way.
No way.
Nice reaction. I'll go back into the comments if you want to bring up the starting 11 and you can talk to me about it. Ollie Wilson, John will argue. Ollie Wilson says, John will argue about all Liverpool players, even if they are better than United players. The only United player that will get into our team now is Hernandez. I think he means Fernandez, and I think he means Bruno. Man United are currently ahead of Liverpool by 3 points. Basically, every United player will get into the Liverpool team because we're currently better than you.
John, will you go away out of that?
I'm not arguing that, right? Rashford would get into the Liverpool team. Pogba would get into the Liverpool team. Maguire would walk into the current Liverpool team because your defence is all injured.
You just said every player would get into
the Liverpool but that's team. Just being hyperbole. I mean, a lot of United players would, not just Bruno. The fact is, ask yourself, how many current available Liverpool players would get into the United squad? I say Salah, Fabinho, and maybe Robertson. You can throw Trent in there, but if you want a more solid defence, you stick with Bissaka. But the idea that only Bruno would get in is a joke. Jason Kyo thanking you. Mark Kelly says this one is shite. United lineup invites them on. Lindelof and Maguire together. Martial, who can't score at all up front. Suicide. Well, I think Martial should start, Mark. I think he should start with Rashford and Cavani. I don't know if that's the case.
I'll stop you there. For all the scrutiny Timo Werner is getting, he actually has 2 more league goals than Martial this year in the same amount of appearances.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think Martial is doing well scoring, but he's got a few assists, he's got a few goals, and more importantly, he's just a bigger threat than the other options we have. We don't have Werner as an option. We have Martial or James, maybe Greenwood, but Greenwood is still young. Based on our options, I'd start Martial, but I do agree that Lindelof alongside Maguire is not a good option instead of Bale and Maguire.
No, definitely would have went over Lindelof.
Jason Kyo, how can you change that front three? I'm not even sure what front three he's talking about, but Dan Kyo says, surely Minamino, I can't pronounce it. Minamino, thank you. Minamino makes the front three, Yorkie. Minamino absolutely makes no front three. He can barely make the front three.
Said that?
Dan Kyo says Minamino makes the front three. He's talking about the combined 11, Yorkie. And I'm sorry, but Minamino can barely make your own front three. And that's when Rashford and Cavani's not available to you.
No, to be fair, I can't put Minamino in there now myself.
No, not at the moment. He might come good, but so far he hasn't done enough to deserve.
That's played enough balls, really.
Steve Norman says, I'm a Liverpool fan. What is the hype about Gomez? He's average, positionally, bang average, bordering poor.
Gomez?
Yeah, now Steve Norman is a huge, staunch Liverpool supporter. He hates United, and on most days he hates me. But what I would say is Gomez maybe bang average, but next to Van Dijk, he looks really good. And the thing is, the alternative to Gomez is Matip. Now, I think Bali will be better beside Van Dijk. I think Maguire will be better beside Van Dijk. Lindelof may be as good, maybe beside Van Dijk than as Gomez, but
Lindelof. I'll give you Bailly.
Yeah, Bailly and Maguire, but like Gomez's competition is Matip. So when you missing Gomez, that that makes it all
That's
worse.
that's competition. Why do you think that's a competition?
Yeah.
Because they don't really need they don't, you know. With Van Dijk there, any half average player is gonna fucking
it's gonna look
do
good.
Enough.
Yeah, it's gonna look good. Gary Murray says surprise Martial starts in front. Cavani he doesn't offer anything up front. Oh, so Martial is starting in front of Cavani. This is making me think United are going with a back five, a midfield three, and two strikers, which makes me think it's Martial and Rashford up top and Cavani's on the bench. Now, if that's the case, Martial should not start over Cavani. I was really hoping for a front three today against that defence that Liverpool have, which is not a great defence, kind of man for man. They're doing well, but you really should take advantage of the fact that half of your defence, if not all of your centre halves, are injured. So Yorkie, do you have the starting 11s?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, get them here now. Yeah, I have them here. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to bring you back in. Talk to me about the United starting 11 there.
1 sec. See, I won't be able to be on the screen and look at the same time.
That's grand. Stay off the screen. I'll keep the chat window open.
So you have the hair in goal.
Right.
Well, I already said, could be either a very good game or it could be something silly's going to happen. Luke Shaw has played very well.
Yeah.
This season, can't fault him. Harry Maguire's done okay, I suppose.
Who is the defence? Because Harry Maguire's class, right? So we got De Gea, Shaw, Maguire, Lindelof,
and
Wan-Bissaka. Right. Now, what's the midfield look like?
McTominay, Fred.
Oh, it was always going to be McTominay and Fred. Okay.
Yeah, and then up further you have Pogba, you have Fernandes through the middle, Rashford out right. Pogba's out on the left.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Martial's up front. I don't see Cavani here at all.
No, he's not. So Martial is starting instead of Cavani. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Cavani should start over it. I love the fact that they've put Pogba out left. So they're playing a 4-3-3, but they're giving Pogba the chance to play further up the pitch in a more aggressive role because and then we have Cavani on the bench, so we need to bring him on. So actually, other than Lindelof and maybe Cavani on the bench instead of Martial, I actually don't mind that first 11 and more importantly the formation 4-3-3. I'm quite happy with that.
Just Pogba is a little bit too far up. Do you not think?
Well, it does mean you lose the ability to take advantage because Liverpool play a high line, and the problem with Liverpool is the high line they play when they have Van Dijk, when they have Gomez. They're quite good at it. Van Dijk is unbelievably well at reading the game. When they play the same high line, I know he has drawn a few games, but I've watched his against Brighton, I've watched his against Watford and other teams, and they've been able to get past that high line very easily. They've created loads of chances against just because of that high line when it's a makeshift centre-half pairing. They just don't finish them. And I think United, if they make as many chances as those other teams have made, they would finish them.
If the back line, okay, go on. You can discuss. Go on, keep going. Yeah,
the only thing I was saying is that you lose Paul Pogba's ability to pick out that long pass that beats the defensive high line because he'll be too far up to deliver that. Yeah, I agree.
The only thing question is Pogba's position.
So talk to me about Liverpool's first 11.
Liverpool's first 11. Hang on, I just need to go off screen.
Go ahead. I'm gonna just go through the chat then. Jason Kyo, having a clue is coming, I can feel it. Steve Norman, I'm a Liverpool fan, read that. Jason Kyo asked, stop, Cavani tracks back more than Bobby. Well, Cavani tracks back a lot. I mean, you watch Bobby more than I do, I guess, Firmino. But Cavani tracks back and wins the ball back off centre halves and holding midfielders an awful lot. Ollie Wilson, Yorkie, you're agreeing too much with John. Well, it's not his fault. He's got some kind of common sense there. Neville Cheshu says, haven't been this horny watching something since I found Sammy Ippia's online fans. Jason Kyo, most of them for free. I don't know who he's referring to. Ollie Wilson, all for losses to what you brought in. Again, I don't work for Man United's business department, but Man United make more money than any other club in the Premier League, so I don't care. Dwayne Morgan, Hendo at centre-back is probably better than Lindelof. In fairness, United not going to get better chance to win. Well, I don't think Hendo at centre-back is better than Lindelof. I do think that Bali at centre back is a much better complement to Maguire than Lindelof. But if you put Hendo beside Maguire, you'd be asking for trouble. Kieran Houghton says De Gea has Weetabix arms. Kieran Houghton, De Gea makes so many close range shot stops and great saves with his arms. It's remarkable. He had a couple of seasons.
Better with his feet.
Yeah, he's had a couple of seasons where, not that he was bad, he just made some high profile errors, as Niall had already said, ended up costing the team points or places. Alisson also makes an error here and there, but unfortunately for other teams, Liverpool are already 2 or 3 up. De Gea, Gini has played more than any other midfielder in the league for Liverpool. Okay. So he does get into Liverpool's league team. However, Liverpool's...
he is there in most games.
Yeah, plays most games, that's fine. But Liverpool's midfield still do not create or score any goals. So his job there is to win back the ball and run. Now, when we have a combined 11 with Bali and Maguire or Van Dijk even, if he was fit, and Fabinho sitting in front of them, you don't need Gini to do that. You can afford to have a better attacking, creative player. Jason Keogh, I'd rather set Hendo at centre-back. A lot of Liverpool fans would rather Hendo at centre-back than Lindelof, in fairness. Kieran Newton, the Hendo wouldn't get a game for us. Okay. Dwayne, Jogba won't get near Liverpool. Pogba has... In the year before last, Pogba outscored every Liverpool midfielder combined. He got more assists than every Liverpool midfielder. He also made more tackles than Hendo and Milner. He made more interceptions than Kante, and he made more successful dribbles than Mane. So to say he wouldn't get into the team is absolute nonsense.
More dribbles than Mane?
Yeah, more successful dribbles than Mane managed in that season.
Jeez, I'd like to see the numbers on that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. He had a great season when we won. We came second. We won, I think, the League Cup and the Europa Cup. He was phenomenal. He scored 16 goals, 9 of which were penalties. But even the goals that weren't penalties was still more than every Liverpool player in the midfield. So to say he wouldn't get in is just nonsense. Now, Klopp might not want him because of his attitude or something like that, but on skill alone, in a fictitious world where we're making up a team based on ability and the best player, he absolutely gets in. Mark Kelly, Martial is zero threat. Well, Mark, we'll see if Martial scores a goal today. Steve Norman, Matip is a solid centre-back, bar injuries. So Steve Norman really, really does like Matip over Gomez, in fairness. He doesn't think Gomez is good enough for Liverpool. He actually thinks Matip is a better centre-half pairing.
Joe Gomez all day.
Right, Niall prefers Joe Gomez, Steve. Now, Dwayne, Matip is better than any of United centre-back. He is. Matip is better than every United centre-back except Maguire and Bali. Steve Norman, I agree with Dwayne. Dwayne Morgan, you know what? I think Henderson might step up a position to mark Bruno out of the game. You can't mark Bruno out of the game unless you're prepared to follow him all over the pitch.
That's Wijnaldum's job.
What?
That's Wijnaldum's job.
Yeah, Wijnaldum might be able to do that, but if Henderson is playing centre half, there's no way he steps up to mark Bruno, because Bruno will drop deep into the United half. He'll play forward, he'll play on the right, he'll play on the left. You simply could not have a person who's supposed to be central defensive marking Bruno. He would get dragged all over the pitch. Jason Keogh says, we won the league with none of our midfield scoring and assisting. That's nice to know, Jason. Well done. You won the league when every single team you're competing with had managers in their very first ever season. You're not winning. Now that those managers have had some experience and they've had an effect on the teams in which they manage, Liverpool find themselves in third. So it's not working right now, that's for sure. Right.
3 points be off top.
Yeah, 3 points off top. Sitting third. Niall, I'm going to bring you back in on the screen. I'm going to close the chat for a second. And we're going to wrap it up shortly with some predictions, okay? Because we are 20 minutes away from kickoff. And I know people will want to watch the build-up as well. So let's bring Niall back in. There we go. Niall, you're back. And you're with us there. Now, 1 second. There you go. Tell me, Niall, what are your predictions for today? Looking at the 2-11s that we've seen, what do you think?
I'm going 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. It's optimistic. It'll put you as top of the league.
Going 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay. I think 3-1 United. But I'd be happy. I'd be happy with a draw. I'd be happy with a draw because it means we're still top of the league by 3 points. Well, when City win, we'll be top by a point, but we'd still be 3 points ahead of you boys if we draw. But I think a 3-1 win to United, just simply because of that defence.
Bear in mind, Liverpool haven't. When was the last time Liverpool lost a game at Anfield?
2017. But
yeah.
But when was the last time you played at Anfield against a team that was top of the league like City or United, when you had Hendo and Fabinho playing centre half?
And
Shaqiri in your starting 11.
Shaqiri deserves to be in there.
And put it this way as well. Shaqiri's not even playing up front. Mane's playing, Salah's playing, and I think Firmino's playing. So that means
can play through the middle. Shaqiri can play through the middle.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He's playing midfield. Like, you lose a lot of height against Pogba in a team like that. McTominay, you know, that second ball could become very, very important.
Look, we'll see what he does, but.
Right. So you got 2-1 Niall for Liverpool, 3-1 United for John, and in the comments section we have Jason Kyo missing Virgil van Dijk and Gomez. Dwayne Morgan says more interceptions and tackles. One team plays with the ball, one team doesn't. All United players should have better stats in recovering the ball. Dwayne's not wrong. I'm just going to bring the chat window up, but Dwayne is not wrong. United players have the ball less, so their stats are increased by having to win it back more often. What I would say, though, is that he still, as a midfielder, has good defensive stats that complement the brilliant attacking stats that he actually has. Now, that was not from last season. He was injured half of last season. It was from the season before. So Dwayne Morgan, good to see you've kept the stream full of pony. Jason Kyo, 4-0. So Jason Kyo thinks 4-0.
All moves
to Liverpool. Jason Kyo, big teams always want to win, never want to take a draw. And then Dwayne Morgan, draw, just let City back in. They both need to win. Dwayne, you're not wrong. A draw is unbelievably important to both a win is unbelievably important to both Liverpool and United because a draw will only help City. I don't think a draw brings City back in. I think City are in regardless. City actually go ahead of Liverpool if they win their games in hand. And even if Liverpool win, City will overtake United. There's only going to be, regardless of this result, a point or two between the top three teams. So City are already in it. And I absolutely agree that both United and Liverpool need to win to have that little bit of a cushion between them and City, whoever that is, United or Liverpool. Steve Norman says Shaqiri came on against United and did what did what in a pool shirt. Steve Norman, I don't think the fact that a guy scores a goal against a team ultimately means he's a fantastic player.
2 goals.
Yeah,
2 goals.
He's how many games has he started for you this season?
This could be his first. In the league, I'd say this definitely could be his first one to start. Maybe his second. No more than 2, I don't think.
Shaqiri.
Yeah.
League appear. No, actually, you know what? I'll just look up Shaqiri and see how many games he's even played this year. Right? So, Shaqiri. He's played 8 games all year. Right?
Yeah.
4 of them have been in the league. Of the 17 matches Liverpool have played, Shaqiri's played in 4. And I'm not even talking about only starting. I'm talking about sub appearances, starting.
Yeah,
he's literally played 4 matches.
Today.
Yeah.
This could be his first game to start.
So do you remember that game, JT? I do remember that game. All right, boys. Look, we have 15 minutes before the game kicks off. We didn't get to do a pre-match talk because this debate went on and people were loving it. We had 30, nearly 40 people watching live, which is the most we've had. So Niall, I'm going to bring you back in the screen, and I just want to thank you for joining us.
No problem with that. Up the pool.
Really, really appreciate it. So, Niall, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the game. We'll see you at half 6 for the post-match reaction.
100%.
And the fans can all join in live and watch us, because one of us will be devastated, no?
All to be seen, bud. All to be seen.
Yeah, but one of us is going to be devastated. One of us is going to be like, I can't believe we lost 6-0. Like, one of us is going to be absolutely horrified.
It's up to you.
All right, buddy. Oh, and by the way, I've got a bet with my friend Steve Norman that if Liverpool beat United, I will wear a Liverpool jersey on my show a month for every goal they win by. So just be aware. Niall, can you donate a Liverpool jersey that I could wear during my show?
Yeah. No problem at all.
Niall's going to donate the jersey that if Liverpool win, I will have to wear a Liverpool jersey on all my shows a month for every goal they win by.
Lovely. Jeez, you're going to be wearing that for fucking years to come.
Liverpool win 16-0. Oh my God. All right. Thanks again, Niall. Appreciate it. Thanks everybody for watching. Again, really, really appreciate everybody for joining in, and enjoy the game, buddy. I'll see you at half 6.
See you at half 6, John.
All right, boys. Thanks again to everybody else for joining in. Again, really, really appreciate it. Just going to bring it up here. We've got Liverpool, Man United, 15 minutes. It's going to be amazing.
Glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, Man United.
Glory, glory, Man United, as the Reds go marching on, on, on. Welcome to Old Trafford, it's the better of our dreams. The power and the glory of the shepherd and will sing. The Muslim boys will take the pitch to matching at the